This is the brand new Firefly, a new sub-brand from the Chinese company NIO. It's actually its own separate brand, and this is the first model, which is also called Firefly. Maybe you remember NIO from a few years back, as those cars with swappable batteries where you could drive into a swap station and get a new battery installed in just 3 minutes. But it never really caught on here in Denmark, because our tax system didn't really work with it, making it more complicated, so you had to lease the battery but buy the car, and it was just a big mess. At least it wasn't something we Danes thought was particularly cool, so they've moved away from that now. But this car is built from the ground up on an entirely new platform, specifically for Firefly. And the task has been to make a small car that is both accessible, smart, and also fun to drive. Today, I'm out on a short test drive, so I only have the car for a couple of hours, but I have to say that my first impression of this new car is incredibly positive. Just like the Renault 5 and BYD Dolphin Surf and similar, this is a car in the B segment, so primarily a small city car. But what sets this one apart from the others is, firstly, that it comes with a lot of equipment included in the price, and secondly, that it's rear-wheel drive. That always makes a car a bit more fun to drive, and we don't usually see it in these small cars. It actually also has a frunk of about 92 liters, I think it was, the same size as the one in a Model Y, which is also completely insane. So they've tried to make a car that, even though it's small, still has many of the features you get in larger cars, and also offers some practical solutions for storage and so on. The trunk is over 400 liters, and if you fold down the seats, it's over 1,200 liters. So again, an incredible amount of space in such a small car. But let me show you a bit more about it, and let's get a little closer. I've just sat down in the back seat here in the Firefly to show you a bit about the space, because right now I'm not sitting behind myself, but behind the tallest person in the world, or at least someone who has pushed the seat all the way back. So this is the worst case scenario in terms of space in the back seat. And as you can see, I actually have space in front of my knees here. I can get my feet under the seat in front here, and I'm actually sitting quite comfortably. These seats are quite soft. They're well padded here. They are very comfortable, and also the angle is not too steep here. I don't feel like I'm sitting too upright, even though they've managed to fit over 400 liters in the back. I've also got plenty of space above my head here, so all in all, pretty good space, and of course a flat floor, because it's built on a dedicated electric car platform. It's a completely new platform here for the Firefly. There are seats for 3 people in the back, and as always with these small cars, the middle seat is of course a bit narrow, but for 2 people there's plenty of space, and you can bring along a third if needed. There's no armrest, but that's something you just have to live with, but all in all, it's actually quite spacious for such a small car. I think that's quite positive, I must say, and I also think the materials are nice. By the way, it's 100% recycled materials used for the seats and the door panels and things like that. It's not even hard plastic up here. It's actually a bit soft. You could say that NIO, which this car is kind of a spin-off from, is also a premium brand. They're actually competing a bit with BMW and Mercedes and so on in terms of price range. Of course, it's a bit lower than those, but in terms of quality, they want to be in that segment. So you could say the Firefly here is maybe a premium small car, but despite that, the prices are actually not that bad. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. Let's take a closer look at the rest of the car. Now I've just moved to the front seat in the Firefly. I'm not going to go through the whole car right now because I haven't had time to get familiar with the software and what it can do, as I usually do. That will come in a later video, so remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I don't know exactly when I'll get the car for a week-long test, but it will definitely happen at some point. But in general, there's a small display here in front of the driver, and then a large 13.3-inch retina display up here. Super nice display. It's incredibly sharp and seems to respond really quickly. My first impression of the software, and also what I've quickly tried with the assistants, is quite positive, so I'm really looking forward to having the car for a whole week, so I can really test what it can actually do. But overall, it's very exciting. I also really like the design. It's very minimalist, but tasteful, I think. You could almost call it classic Scandinavian design. I think it's really nice. Nice materials, and again, not hard plastic. Fabric coverings here on the sides and on the doors, and then a fun detail that recurs, which we were told about regarding the car's design language. If you're interested in design, well, it has something to do with ovals. You'll see them everywhere, on the exterior door handles, out on the front grille, in the handles for opening and closing the doors, and down in the middle of the center console. Even the rearview mirror is an oval. That design is repeated all around the car in all the various elements, and I think that's pretty cool. The same goes for the software, actually. It's very simple and playful. Some might even say it's a bit childish. I don't know about that. I actually think it's quite nice. I like the design from what I've seen so far. It's nice. It's something maybe Apple could have made, or perhaps Google. It actually looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that too. There's really a lot to dive into, but I won't do that today because I have to return the car in about half an hour. So let's take a look at the trunk. Before we look at the trunk, I'll give you a little more information about the Firefly, and not least what the cars will cost. Firefly is designed in Munich, so maybe that's why it doesn't seem particularly Chinese. It comes in 2 trim levels, Select and Comfort, and the only difference is the equipment the car comes with. Both models have an LFP battery with a net capacity of 41.2 kilowatt hours, which gives a WLTP range of between 320 and 330 kilometers. All safety equipment and driver assistance features are included in both models, so you don't have to pay extra for things like lane assist as you do with the Renault 5. The Select model costs 210,000 Danish kroner, and the Comfort version is 20,000 kroner more. Those 20,000 kroner get you all the extra equipment you see here, so you actually get quite a lot for your money. But what exactly that smart fragrance system is, I honestly don't know. The car comes with a 5-year factory warranty, or 150,000 kilometers, an 8-year battery warranty, or 160,000 kilometers, and a 10-year rust warranty with no mileage limit. I've put a link to Firefly's international website down in the description, so you can check out more about the car if you want to. Now let's look at the trunk. You open it by just pressing this button here. This model is the entry-level version, called Select, I think. It doesn't have an electric tailgate. That's not something you usually get in these kinds of small cars. But actually, the Comfort model, which is the next level up, there are basically these two, Select and Comfort. Well, that one actually does have an electric tailgate. Insane. Now just take a look at this. Pretty big space. Again, I'm really surprised by this car. It has split rear seats. It looks like a 30-70 split, and I can fold the seats down, as I mentioned. And then I actually get over 1,200 liters of space. And I even have a 12-volt outlet. Back here in the rear, so I can put my cooler down if I'm going on a trip in the car. And there's room for that too, because yes, plenty of space here. There's a tiny little compartment down here underneath. Not very big. There's just enough room for a warning triangle and a hook for towing the car. But as you'll see in just a moment, there's also a huge frunk up front, with plenty of space. So let's just go up and take a look at it. And here it is. Holy cow, that's deep. Just take a look at this. It goes all the way up to here on my arm. Huge frunk. Why can't the others figure this out? I don't get it. It's fantastic in such a small car. Again, very positive. So cool. It really seems like they've thought about making this car practical and added space everywhere possible since it's an electric car. So again, really cool. Plenty of space down here, both for the charging cable and for all sorts of other things, I must say. So that was a quick look at the brand new Firefly. As I said, I'll be doing a proper test later where I'll go through the car more thoroughly, look at the software, and of course also take it out on the road to test the driver assistance systems just like I usually do. I don't know yet when I'll get the chance to borrow the car, so please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you want to be notified when the video comes out. Until then, you might want to check out that video over there, which YouTube thinks is just right for you. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, I'm always happy for a cup of coffee. See you soon!